Good morning, students. In this video, I am discussing another challenging problem of mechanics. This problem is inspired from problem number 160 of Irodov, which is a very famous problem containing ladder, man and pulley. Okay. So in the original problem, there was a pulley and a block of mass 2m attached to the left hand side of this thread, which is passing over the pulley. And on right hand side, there was a ladder and a man. So this is the modified version of the original problem. So in the original problem, the pulley was massless, but here the pulley has a mass m. And on the right hand side, instead of ladder and man, we have a piston of mass m and a thread attached to the piston. Uh, One end of the thread is attached to the piston and another end is attached to a particle of mass m. Okay, so this problem is advanced version of the original problem, and those of you who have not solved the original problem, I will suggest them to solve the original problem first. And those of you who have solved the original problem, then even if you have understood the original problem, the concept behind the original problem properly, you will find this problem much more challenging and interesting as compared to the original version. Okay, so the concept that this problem uses is the motion of center of mass, how center of mass moves under the influence of external forces. So without any further delay, let us move on to the discussion of the problem. So I'm reading problem statement for you. It says that the figure shows a pulley in form of a disc of mass m and radius r, which can rotate freely about its axis. So he's talking about this pulley. So this pulley has a mass m, it is in form of a disc, it has a mass m and radius r, and it can rotate freely about the axis. Okay, the axis is fixed here. It carries a massless rope whose one end is connected to a block of mass 2m on left. So there is a light inextensible thread and one end of the thread, and that thread is passing over the pulley, and one end of the thread is connected to a block of mass 2m on the left, as you can see here, and other end is connected to a piston of mass m, which can freely move in vertical direction between two frictionless walls. So other end of the rope is connected to a piston. This is a piston of mass m, and it is fixed between two frictionless walls. So the walls are frictionless, which means that walls will not exert any vertical force on this piston. Okay, so the purpose of walls is to make sure that this piston does not move sideways. Okay, so the piston can freely move vertically between these two walls. Then there is another thread of length L whose one end is attached to the piston and other end to a mass n. So he's talking about this thread here. So one end of this thread is connected to this piston and another end is connected to a particle of mass m. So mass on the left hand side of the pulley, which is 2m, is equal to total mass on the right hand side of the pulley. Okay, something which is similar to the original problem also. Okay, original Irodov problem. The length of this thread is equal to L and the thread is ideal. It means that it is massless and inextensible. Then he's saying the system is at rest initially. So system was at rest at t equal to 0 and it is released from this position shown. So system is released from this position at t equal to 0. Now what will happen as the system is released? This particle of mass m will move in downward direction. Okay, it will fall in downward direction. The piston may move up or it may move down. Similarly, this block of mass 2m may also move up or may also move down. The disc may rotate clockwise or anti-clockwise. Okay, now he's asking us to calculate the velocity of the particle and tension in the string at the moment the thread becomes vertical. So after some time this thread becomes vertical, and at that moment we have to find the velocity of this particle of mass m and tension in this string. Okay, tension in this massless thread, although he has not mentioned because there are two strings involved here, so he has not specified which string he is talking about, but let us say we have to find the tension in this string. Okay, so at this moment I want all of you to pause this video and try to solve this problem on your own. I can assure you that this problem is much more challenging and much more interesting as compared to the original problem. Let us now discuss the solution of this problem. So this figure shows the diagram of the system at some arbitrary instant. Okay, so as you can see, at initial instant the string was horizontal, and at final instant it will be vertical. So at this arbitrary instant the string is making an angle theta with the vertical. Okay. So a1 is the downward acceleration of this block of mass 2m, whereas a2 is the downward acceleration of this particle. Now a1 is the acceleration of block of mass 2m and piston, because there is a constraint on the length of the string. Now length of this string will remain constant, which means that whatever acceleration of this mass 2m will have in downward direction, same acceleration this piston will have in upward direction at any instant. So if acceleration of this mass 2m is a1 in downward direction, acceleration of this piston will be a1 in upward direction. Okay. Now T1 and T2, these are tensions on both sides of the string connecting mass 2m and the piston. Okay, so T1 is the tension in the thread on the left of this pulley, and T2 is tension in the thread on the right hand side of the pulley. Okay, so because pulley has some mass, so tensions will be different on the left hand side as well as on the right hand side. A2 is the vertical component of the acceleration of the particle at a given instant. So A2 is, as you can see in the figure also, A2 is the vertical component of the acceleration of this particle of mass m, okay, which is attached to the other end of the string. First end is connected to the piston. Now I can say that alpha is the angular acceleration of this pulley. So alpha is equal to a1 by r, because thread is not slipping over the pulley. Okay, so the acceleration of any point on the circumference of the pulley will be equal to acceleration of the thread. So acceleration of any point on the thread, tangential acceleration is a1, so that has to be equal to alpha into r. Why? Because thread is not slipping over the pulley. Now it is important to note that T1, T2, A1, A2 and alpha, these are all not constant. All these variables T1, T2, A1, A2 and alpha, these represents different motion variables at any arbitrary instant. So these variables will be some complicated functions of the time. Okay, these variables will not be constant. These variables will be some complicated functions of time or angle theta. Now here I have drawn the free body diagram of this box of this block of mass 2m. So 2mg is the downward force which gravity is exerting on this block, and T1 is the upward force by which the string is pulling this mass. Okay, and A1 is its downward acceleration. So I can say 2mg minus T1 is equal to 2m A1. Okay, 2mg minus T1 is equal to 2m into A1. I have not done anything. I have just applied Newton's second law. So this is my first equation. Alpha is equal to A1 by R. This I have already discussed before. Now I can also apply torque equation on this pulley. So T1, the forces which will be producing torque about center of mass are this tension T1 here on the left and T2 on the right. So T1 minus T2R will be the net anti-clockwise torque, and that will be equal to ICM into alpha. So T1 minus T2R is equal to mr square by 2 into alpha. I can cancel R from both the sides, and I can use R alpha. I can use this equation where from where I can replace R alpha by A1. So from 2 and 3 I will get T1 minus T2 equal to M A1 by 2. So I have got these two equations. 2mg minus T1 is equal to 2ma1, and T1 minus T2 is equal to ma1 by 2. Now if I take this piston and this particle as my system. So taking piston plus particle on the left as my system. So I have represented my system on the left with this green color boundary. So everything inside this green color boundary is my system. So my piston and uh, this particle are my system. So if I take piston plus particle as my system, then I can use this equation that net external force on the system in vertical direction. I have not specified vertical direction here. I should have specified that. So what I am doing here, I am using the fact that net external force on the particle on the system in vertical direction will be equal to mass of the total mass of the system multiplied by acceleration of the system in vertical direction. So I am applying this equation in vertical direction. F net external is equal to msys into ACM. So let us find out what is F net external. So I know that these frictionless walls will not exert any vertical force on this piston. So net external force will be mg due to the mass of this piston. This mg is due to mass of this particle minus T2 in vertical direction due to this tension. So net external force, assuming that the vertically downward direction is positive, is 2mg minus T2. Now this should be equal to mass of the system into ACM. Now I know that ACM is equal to sigma mi ai divided by sigma mi, where mi and ai are basically the mass of individual component and their individual accelerations. So this relationship will give me sigma mi into ACM is equal to sigma mi ai. So msys into ACM can be written as sigma mi ai. Okay, so msys into ACM on the right hand side can be replaced with sigma mi ai. So sigma mi ai is m into a2 in downward direction plus m into a1 in upward direction, which is m into a2 minus m into a1, because I have taken my downward direction as positive. So basically F net external equal to m sys into ACM. When I apply this in vertical direction on my system, which is my piston plus my particle, I will get 2mg minus T2 equal to ma2 minus ma1. This is my fifth equation. So basically I have three equations now. These two equations I already discussed these in the previous page. 2mg minus T1 is equal to 2ma1, which is the force equation on this block of mass 2m. Then T1 minus T2 equal to ma1 by 2. This I got when I applied torque equation on this disc or pulley. And then third equation is 2mg minus T2 is equal to ma2 minus a1. This I got when I applied this force equation on piston plus particle on the left. Okay, so I have these three equations now. So what I want to do here, I just want to find out the relationship between A1 and A2, which are acceleration of this piston and the downward acceleration of this particle. Now note that this particle may have some horizontal acceleration also, but right now I am not bothered about the horizontal acceleration. I just want to find out the relationship between the vertical component of acceleration of this particle and the vertical acceleration of this piston. So I have these three equations here. So what I can do, I can eliminate T1 and T2. So T1 and T2 are two variables which I want to eliminate from these three equations. So if I do equation number 3 minus 2 minus 1, I will get this relationship, which is A2 is equal to 7A1 by 2. So using what I have done here, using these three equations, I have found a relationship between the vertical component of acceleration of the particle and the vertical component of acceleration of this piston. So A2 is nothing but vertical component of acceleration of this particle. So I have found that A2 is equal to 7A1 by 2. Now acceleration, the vertical acceleration of the particle will be some complicated function of theta and time. And similarly, vertical acceleration of this piston will also be some complicated function of theta and time. But at any instant, they will be related by this relationship. So at every instant, whatever vertical component of acceleration of uh, this piston is, the vertical component of acceleration of the particle will be 7 by 2 times the vertical component of acceleration of the piston. Okay. So A2 will be equal to 7A1 by 2 at all instants. So as I have written here also, the accelerations A1 and A2 may be some complicated functions of time and theta, but they will always obey this relationship which I have mentioned here, which is A2 will be equal to 7A1 by 2. Now suppose AR is the relative acceleration of the particle with respect to piston in vertical direction. So AR is the relative acceleration of this particle with respect to this piston in the vertical direction. So suppose I am an observer who is sitting on this piston. So AR is the acceleration of the particle which I will observe in vertical direction. So AR will be equal to, I can use the formula of relative acceleration in vertical direction here. So I will get AR equal to A1 plus A2. Okay, so this will give me A1 plus A2. As I know, A2 is 7A1 by 2. So A1 plus 7A1 by 2, which is 9A1 by 2. So I have found out a relationship between relative acceleration of the particle in vertical direction, which is AR, and the acceleration of the piston in vertical direction, which is A1. So they are related with this relationship, which is AR is equal to 9A1 by 2. So which means that relative acceleration of the particle with respect to piston in vertical direction will be 4.5 times or 9 by 2 times acceleration of the piston, or now acceleration of this piston and acceleration of this block is same in magnitude, or 2m block at all the instants. So at every instant, the relative vertical acceleration of the particle will be 9 by 2 times the absolute acceleration of the piston in vertical direction. Or in other words, if I am an observer who is sitting on this piston, and I know that piston is moving upward with an acceleration a1, so at any instant the acceleration with which I will observe the particle to be moving in downward direction will be 9 by 2 times a1. Okay, I hope this is clear to all of you. Now this is the relationship that I derived in the previous page. AR is equal to 9A1 by 2. Now I can integrate this equation with respect to time. So what I am doing here, I am doing AR dt. So I am doing integration AR dt will be equal to 9 by 2 integration A1 dt. Now integration AR dt is integration A dt is V or delta V. Now I know that at initial instant the entire system was at rest, so everything was released from rest at t equal to 0. So this will give me Vr is equal to 9 by 2 times V1. So Vr is vertical component of relative acceleration or relative velocity of particle with respect to piston, whereas V1 is vertical velocity of the piston. So vertical velocity of the piston and the relative vertical velocity of the particle with respect to piston are related by this equation. Okay. So integration AR dt equal to 9 by 2 integration A1 dt will give me that change in relative velocity in vertical direction should be equal to 9 by 2 times change in velocity of the piston in vertical direction. Now because initial velocity and initial relative velocity are 0, so this will give me that relative velocity of the piston, relative velocity of the particle with respect to piston in vertical direction, which is Vr, relative velocity of the particle with respect to piston in vertical direction will be equal to 9 by 2 times velocity of the piston in vertical direction. So V relative is downward and V1 is upward in this figure. Now again, I can integrate this with respect to time to get YR is equal to 9 by 2 times Y1. So YR is nothing but the relative vertical displacement of the particle. So relative vertical displacement of the particle with respect to piston will be equal to 9 by 2 times the vertical displacement of piston. So at any instant, if yr is the relative displacement of the particle with respect to piston in downward direction and y1 is the absolute displacement of the piston in upward direction, then they will be related by this equation, which is yr is equal to 9y1 by 2. Now initially the string was horizontal and finally it is vertical. So as string moves from horizontal to vertical position, yr is equal to L. So if I take my t initial here and t final here, then the relative vertical displacement of the of this block or of this particle is L. Okay. So the question is, can I find the vertical displacement of this piston, okay, in this interval of time? So yes, I can find out using the equation which I derived in the previous page, which is yr is equal to 9y1 by 2. So this will give me y1 is equal to 2 by 9 yr. So yr in this particular case is equal to L. So y1 will be equal to 2 by 9 into L. So y1 is equal to 2 by 9 into L. So when string becomes vertical, yr is the relative displacement of the particle in vertical direction. It will be equal to L in downward direction. So yr is L in downward direction. Displacement of the piston will be 2 by 9 L in upward direction. This I have derived just now, 2 by 9 L in upward direction. So this piston will move by a distance of 2 by 9 L in upward direction, and this 2m mass will move in downward direction by an amount 2 by 9. So displacement of 2m will be 2 by 9 L in downward direction. Now I can find out the displacement of particle with respect to ground. So I know the displacement of particle with respect to this piston. It is L in downward direction. So with respect to ground, it will be L minus 2 by 9 L, which is 7 by 9 into L in downward direction. So I have used the formula of relative displacement here. Okay. So absolute displacement of the particle with respect to ground will be its relative displacement with respect to piston plus absolute displacement of piston, which is L minus 2 by 9 L. So it will be 7 by 9 L in downward direction. So by the time the string becomes vertical, the piston will move up by an amount 2 by 9 L. The block of mass 2m will move down by an amount 2 by 9 L. And displacement of the particle with respect to ground will be L minus 2 by 9 L, which is 7 by 9 L in the downward direction. Now I know that when the string becomes vertical, its relative velocity with respect to piston is in horizontal direction. So this figure shows the final position when the string is in vertical position. So when string is in vertical position, this particle is moving towards left. So the relative velocity of the particle with respect to piston in vertical direction will be 0. So Vr will be 0 at this position. But I know that Vr is equal to 9 by 2 V1. This I have derived previously. So if Vr is equal to 0, which is Vr, which is vertical component of velocity of this particle with respect to piston, if it is 0, then this V1 will also be equal to 0. So this V1 in vertical direction will be equal to 0. Similarly, the velocity of this mass 2m will also be 0. So here Vr is the relative velocity of the particle with respect to piston in vertical direction. So Vr will be equal to 0 and V1 will also be equal to 0 in the final position. So in final position, both the velocity of this piston as well as the velocity of this block will be 0. And if their velocities are 0, the angular velocity of this disk will also be equal to 0. So in the final position, the string will be vertical and this particle will be moving in horizontal direction only. Okay. So finally, this diagram represents the final position. Okay, so the displacement I already calculated. So this 7 by 9 L is the absolute vertical displacement of this particle, which is the vertical displacement of the particle in ground frame. This 2 by 9 L is the vertical displacement of the piston in ground frame. And again, this 2 by 9 L in downward direction is the vertical displacement of this block in ground frame. So finally, by the time the string becomes vertical, the particle has moved a distance of 7 by 9 L in downward direction. The piston has moved a distance of 2 by 9 L in upward direction, whereas this block of mass 2m has moved a distance of 2 by 9 L in downward direction. Now we can apply work kinetic energy theorem on the entire system now. So what I am doing here, I am applying work kinetic energy theorem on the entire system. So it says that the change in kinetic energy of the system will be equal to work done by all external forces. So tension is the internal force here. The only external forces are the forces of gravity, gravitational forces on different parts of the system. See, obviously there is some force due to the walls, the normal reaction due to walls on the piston, but work done by that force will be equal to 0. The reason is the displacement of the piston is in vertical direction and this force is acting in horizontal direction. So what I am doing here, I am applying this work kinetic energy theorem on the entire system, which says that change in kinetic energy of the system is equal to work done by gravity. So change in kinetic energy of the system, because piston and this block, they have zero velocity. So this delta K system will contain only one term, which is half mv square, where v is the speed of this particle with respect to piston or with respect to ground. Okay. So half mv square is equal to work done by gravity. The work done by gravity on this particle is mg into 7 by 9L in downward direction. So mg into 7 by 9L, which is the displacement of this in downward direction. Now work done by gravity on this 2m block will be this 2mg, which is the weight of this particle multiplied by the displacement of this particle in vertically downward direction, which is 2mg into 2 by 9L. Similarly, work done by gravity on this piston will be mg in downward direction and 2 by 9L is the displacement in vertically upward direction. So I have used a negative sign here. Why? Because the displacement of the particle is opposite to the weight. So this will give me mv square by 2 is equal to 9 mgl by 9, which will give me finally v is equal to under root 2gl. So velocity of the particle in final velocity of the particle in vertical direction, when the string is in vertical position, will be in horizontal direction. So the velocity will be in horizontal direction when the string is vertical, and the velocity is equal to under root 2gl. Now this I could have easily calculated without deriving the relationship between the relative acceleration and relative displacement and relative velocity of the particle and this piston. Okay. But for calculating tension in this second string at this position, I need all those relationships. So up to this point, for calculating this particular velocity or for solving first part of the problem, I do not require those relationship between the relative acceleration and relative displacement of the particle and this piston, which I derived previously. Okay, but for calculating tension in this string, I need those relationships. So let us see how I can find out tension in the string, in this second string, in this particular position. Now at this instant, now this particle is moving in a circular path with respect to this piston. So if I am an observer who is sitting on this piston, for me this particle will move in a circular path. So at this instant, the relative acceleration of the particle with respect to piston will be in upward direction and its value will be equal to v square by n. So if AR is the, so I have already derived the relationship between relative acceleration of the particle in vertical direction and the vertical acceleration of this piston. So if AR is the downward acceleration of the particle and A1 is the vertical acceleration of the piston, this is what I derived previously. AR is equal to 9 by 2 A1. But here AR is minus V square by L, because in this figure AR is in vertically downward direction, whereas V square by L, the actual acceleration, is vertically upward direction. So AR is minus V square by L. So AR is equal to minus V square by L. So acceleration of the piston, which is A1, will be equal to 2 by 9 times AR. So it will be 2 by 9 into V square by L. And that will be with negative sign, which means that acceleration of the piston will be in vertically downward direction. So accelerations are in opposite direction to the original direction which I assumed when I derived this particular relationship. So acceleration of the piston is 2 by 9 into V square by L in downward direction. Now let us draw the free body diagram of this ball or of this particle in the frame of reference of this piston. So this is the free body diagram of the ball in the frame of reference of this piston. So mg is the vertically downward direction force of gravity which earth is exerting on this. T is the tension, and there is a pseudo force because absolute acceleration of this piston is in vertically downward direction and is equal to 2v square by 9l. So pseudo force will be acting in opposite direction. Okay, so F pseudo will be equal to 2 by 9 or m into acceleration of this piston, which is 2 by 9 mv square by L. So T plus F pseudo minus mg will be equal to mass into acceleration of the particle, which is acceleration of the particle is the centripetal acceleration, which is v square by L. So this is the equation that I got after applying Newton's second law on this particular ball at this particular instant. So it is T plus F pseudo minus mg is equal to mv square by L. So from here I get T is equal to mv square by L plus mg minus F pseudo. So I can put F pseudo as 2 mv square by 9l here. So 2 by 9 plus 1 will give me 7 by 9. So T is 7 by 9 mv square by L plus mg. But I know that V square is equal to 2gl when the string is vertical. This I derived in the previous page, that V square is equal to 2gl. So if I put V square equal to 2gl in this relationship, I will get T is equal to 23 by 9 mg. So in this way I can calculate tension at the position when this particular thread, the second thread which is connecting piston and this particle, becomes vertical. So tension is equal to 23 by 9 mg. So although I can calculate velocity of the particle without deriving the complicated relationships between AR and A1 and VR and V1, but tension cannot be found without the use of those relationships. So I hope you like this video. So please keep on watching my YouTube channel for more such interesting videos. Thank you so much.